So we have these mechanical forces that we apply to the body. Why are we applying them? Applying them for a very particular reason. We're either creating discomfort, pain, or injury. This is the purpose of a submission. This is the purpose of applying those forces to the body. And this is a sliding scale that jumps extremely fast based on tension. Remember, the body is under constant tension. So our joints and ligaments are constantly under tension. Right now they're under tension trying to move my arms. Discomfort. Discomfort is the first level that we move to. It's where you feel that physical discomfort. Your nervous system sends that reaction and says, this hurts. Now what usually happens at that point? Tension. That moves to pain. Pain is where you actually bump those nervous receptors up, and all of a sudden you've moved from discomfort, which is a little bit, to pain, which is discomfort times 2 or 3. Then we move to injury. Injury is where we actually have injury to the tendon or the ligament or the muscle. This is where a lot of people get hurt whenever they're training. It's because people move from discomfort and then they have tension. Then at this point, which is usually where you have the tap, all of a sudden they apply that mechanical force and they end up at injury. It's very, very common, and this is why in your training environment you have to be very careful whenever you're submitting somebody or you're using any of the information that we're looking at in this first video, is that you don't end up moving from tension and applying that mechanical force and then breaking through that tension or creating compression or shearing or torsion or bending or whatever it may be and going straight to injury. We use all of these for a very particular purpose. They all have a tactical purpose. Everybody's heard of pain compliance. Problem with pain compliance is that people apply that mechanical force and next thing you know they have injury. Discomfort, right here, letting somebody know, you don't need to do that, back off a little bit, I'm going to create a little bit of nervous feedback in your body, and then I'm moving to pain, which is heightening it. And the thing to remember about this is that when you move to pain, that's when your nervous system goes into autopilot. You get the SNS response, all of a sudden people start getting into fight or flight when they get to pain, versus discomfort, which they still have the ability to reason a little bit with you. Then you get to injury. If you have to move somebody, if you have to do something, you can skip from discomfort to injury very quickly using the forces that we've looked at on the joints. But in a training environment, you want to be very careful that you don't do that. It all comes back to mechanical. Greater than or less than. Greater than the amount of tension that they're putting on their body to fight you, and then jumping it to hyperfunction the body. So we have malfunction, function, and hyperfunction. Then we have those different mechanical forces that we're applying to the body. All of those lead us to one place. That one place is right here. This is the entire purpose of martial art, is to either create discomfort, pain, or injury in another human. It's done by that mechanical force and applying the mechanical force. So be very careful as we move through these training exercises that you talk to your partner about their discomfort. It's very important that you do that because you want to be able to understand what they're going through. You want to be able to get that feedback. You want to understand where their tension is. You want to understand, can I use compression here? Can I bend something here? But we're going to be looking at the spine along with the joints, and that creates a very, very dangerous situation where you can go from discomfort to injury very rapidly, so you have to be careful on your mechanical force. The way that I usually look at training environments is that you always want to be less than or right to the boundary, but less than the boundary as much as possible, and that only happens through communication. All right, so what I'm going to do on this one is we're going to work through discomfort, pain, and injury. So at any time that you feel like, just tap. I mean, you know how to tap.